Today's scrapbook layout will have fantastic borders, punches, border maker cartridges, and in the end, a beautiful layout. For today's layout, we're going to make a fantastic border and we're going to use the ripple shape on our custom border template. Now I have it in the tray it came with, and I'm going to show you how this tray is going to be helpful to us in making our layout. We're going to need our scissors, and we're going to need a straight edge. I'm going to use this ruler, but it's going to need some help because it isn't long enough. So I'm going to show you a technique to get the results that we want. We're going to need 2 sheets of paper. Our bottom layer is going to be a bold, sort of a tone-on-tone or even a solid cardstock. And it's going to be a high contrast to our top layer paper. So for the bottom layer, I've chosen the Totally Tonal Purple and Blue Duo paper from 2022. And for the top layer, I've chosen Totally Tonal Purple Ice from 2023. I've chosen these colors because I felt they best go with my photos. I'm putting aside our base paper, and I'm going to be working with the top layer paper. Both sides of this is directionless. The top face up, and then this is the face down side. And neither of them have a direction. But if your paper has a direction, put it on your 13 by 13 inch mat in the proper orientation. Now the next step we're going to do is we're going to put a pencil mark in the upper right side at 1 inch from the top. So we're going to come and make a pencil mark at 1 inch. And on our lower left side, on the bottom, we're going to also make a pencil mark 1 inch over from our left side on the bottom of the paper. So we have on our right side, 1 inch from the top, we have a pencil mark at 1 inch. And on the bottom, we have a pencil mark 1 inch from the left at 1 inch. Now what we want to do is draw a line from here to here. Just a straight line with a pencil. And if I try to use any of the rulers that we have, they aren't long enough. They don't extend all the way down. So I'm going to show you how you can get a ruler to help get you the line all the way down, even though it isn't long enough. You could use a ruler like this one or like this one. And what you're going to use is a piece of cardstock, something like this. Now this came from most likely an album refill page pack. I saved these. There's tons of uses for these. And so one way you can get your straight edge to be longer than 12 inches is to sort of put this and this together and then work together with them. So making sure where they overlap, that they stay together. You could even try to put some tape on there and tape them together. And that will give you a way to draw a line all the way from here down to there. You see, you can get that line by using these two together. You could tape your cardboard and your ruler together to give you a straight edge that has the extension that you need. But I'm in the lazy camp. If you still have the package that your template came in, it's long enough. And so I'm just going to use the package and I'm going to line it up, and I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to draw my straight line with that. And so now I have a straight line from 1 inch in this corner and 1 inch down from there. Next, I'm going to pull out my scissors and I'm going to cut my paper on that line. And now my paper is cut into 2 pieces. Now, I'll tell you a little secret. You don't even have to erase your pencil line because it's going to be punched away or cut away. But I am going to do one little thing that's important to me, and I'm going to write on the back side of this paper here and put somewhere on here a little B. And that's going to tell me that this is the bottom half of my layout. This piece is the bottom. I want to remember that because as we go along, the pieces are going to start looking more and more alike, and I'll maybe forget, since it's no direction, which one was the upper piece and which one's the lower piece. So this is my lower piece. You can put an L for lower, you could write the word out. However, I just want to be able to tell that this is my bottom and this one was my upper. Our next step is to use this beautiful new petal scallop border punch. And so we're going to take our upper piece and we are going to find the center of it. And the way that we do that is we're going to put the point on the 6-inch line, and then we're going to take our widest edge here and we're just going to level it on any horizontal line and make sure that the point down here is on the 6 and this is on a straight line. What we don't want is it to be slanted this way or that way. We want that to be straight and this at 6 inches. Okay. These little black lines here are used to line your paper up when you're sliding your paper into the punch. And these measure to be roughly 2.5 inches apart. So I have my zero centering ruler here. I have my paper such that my point is on that 6-inch line. And I'm going to put this Post-it note such that it is to the left of 6. So basically it's coming over to the 7 1/4 inch line. And I'm putting this Post-it note on the edge of my paper like this to be reading from left to right 7 1/4 inch. That's where I want the left edge of my paper. So now we're ready to punch. And so we have put in our Post-it note to help us align where we want to start our paper. And we're lining it up so that the edge on the left side of our Post-it note lines up with that left edge. And that's kind of centering our punch. Now, I'm holding the paper in place, but I'm going to pull out the Post-it note. And the reason I do that is I don't want the adhesive from the Post-it notes to get into my punch and kind of start putting adhesive in my punch. And this isn't rocket science. It doesn't have to be totally perfect, but it's a good gauge for me. And I'm ready to punch. Now, when you get to that final punch, there's no more paper over here for you to be able to make sure it's near the stop. So I put my finger right there to make sure that the straight edge of the paper before I punch is going to be up against the back of this tray. So what comes out when you center it is this really pretty point. Next, we're going to punch the chain in the other direction. And this is the beautiful chain that we just punched that goes perfect from corner to corner. And now for a second, I'm going to fill in where we are with our remainder paper. That's beautiful already. But we can make our paper a little prettier. Let's watch. Our next step is to take our lower paper and our upper paper, and we're going to put them together with the top side facing each other. And we're going to align the straight sides. You'll see that the papers don't align well down the long side, but that won't matter. On our next step, we're going to be cutting and measuring from our two short sides, and we're going to be cutting away. This is our long side, the hypotenuse. We're going to be cutting off this direction from that tip. Now, I've pushed my paper over. You can see here's my right angle over here. This is both layers. And I'm going to repeat that on this corner as well. I'm now repeating it again. I flipped my paper over so the other side is now up. Here's my right angle here, and I'm cutting with the tip measured at if you're off by a little bit, it won't matter. You don't have to be extremely precise. So after I cut away, it's actually 1 5/8 inch from the tip. We should see that our paper pretty much fits on the 13 by 13 inch mat. Now we're going to take our two triangles. They're layered together with the upper side facing each other. So we're working on the underside. And we're going to put the point on the 6 inch. And we're going to come and look at our 13 by 13 inch mat. And if you see where the 3 inch and the 3 inch line come together, we want those two lines to be on this edge to cross that 3 inch line and that 3 inch line. Up here where the 9 inch and the 9 inch cross, we want this line to cover that. So we want the tip on the 6, the lower side, straight side at the 3 and 3 point, and the upper straight side at the 9 and the 9 point. That's where we want our papers to be held. And so we're putting our template down. So on our left side is the ripple, which is what we're going to cut. And then on the right side, this one is called the curve. And we want that curve pointing to our right so that when we make the cut of our ripple, it's going to give us the shape we wish to have. Now, as usual, I'm using my red blade that I always use. And the red blade will be cutting through 2 layers today. So I want to make sure I'm using very firm pressure. I'm going to pull out my peel in place tape because I don't want the template to be shifting on me. And I'm going to put this on. Now, when you peel it up, be very careful because it can tear your paper, but it's a small risk that I take in order to not do even more damage if my blade shifts because the template. So I'm giving it a little tug, and so the template is quite snug and secure. But because I'm going to cut through 2 layers, I still want to put pressure on my paper and pressure on the blade to get through those 2 layers. Now notice I did not put my template on any specific line. I just wanted to make sure, because I can see through, that I was fully covering the edge of my paper. I'm going to try to make sure that I got through both layers here. Yeah, before I move anything. So I'm gently peeling away my peel in place tape. And I'm peeling away this. And this is waste. Now, this piece does not have the little B on it. This piece has the B. So I know this piece is my bottom and this piece is my top. And that is the look I was going for. Well, I think that's just cute the way it is, but I'm not done yet. This is the Poinsettia Border Maker cartridge, and it gives you both a beautiful decorative look as well as a decorative edge. On our next step, we're going to do edge punches around the corners of our beautiful decorative pieces here. And so the way we're going to do it, we're going to fold at the right corner, and we're going to put a bit of a pinch, but not too much of a pinch. We're not pinching all the way down, but we do want to keep these layers together. Okay? And they may not match perfectly at the end, but that doesn't matter. We just want this point to be here. So we're going to do a fold here, and we're going to punch through 2 layers. And I think I'm going to put a little touch of repositionable to hold this down while we're punching. Okay, so we have our 2 edges here, and we want our punch, we'll do this way, okay? So I'm going to put this tip up in the corner. We can put it in the lower corner too, but we want the tip in a corner as we position our paper into the tray. Put it in a corner and put the holding tray down, and we're going to punch all the way down our paper through 2 layers. Okay, there we go. And when we open it up, let's be careful not to, because sometimes the repo tape can distort. And we're going to repeat it with our bottom piece. I have found that keeping firm pressure on this blue bar while I'm trying to position my cutting cartridge helps a lot to keep the paper from trying to shift. But I think I have it in here nice and securely, and I'm ready to punch. And pull apart gently because we use repositionable. And then we just rub off the repositionable adhesive. And this is the dry fit of our layout design. We just took our upper sheet of paper, we cut it so that we could make this beautiful diagonal border with the petal scallop border punch. We made these beautiful curves with our custom border template. And we made these beautiful edges with our poinsettia border maker cartridge. I'll adhere all of this down and let's get our photos on. So I have my 4 photos on the page here, and I'm trying to figure out how I want to place them. Now, typically when I have these, they're 4x4 sized. I tend to go in a center grid, and I like that. I also think that this particular base design is great for having something up in the corner here and down in the corner here, and then more of this beautiful border in the center will show. And I think that's how I want it to be. I really want to show off the center border. I really love these edges. I love this diagonal. I could also go corner to corner. I like that as well. In that case, I would put a 5th photo in the center. And I've decided to leave this photo out. I'm not even going to put it in a peekaboo pocket. It doesn't add to the story. And actually, I think that is really the story where it says, "Ladies and gentlemen, Celebrity Cruises presents the Le Petit Chef," and then he appears. So I'm going to decide, my final decision is I'm going to put these 2 up in this corner and these 2 in this corner. Now, should they be matted? And I'm thinking the answer is yes. I believe I want to mat them. And my next question is, do I want to trim them down? And I think the answer to that is also yes. So I'm going to go and create 4 squares that are 4x4 inches. I'm going to cut these down to 3 3/4 inch squares. And I'll be back, and the last thing to do will be to decide on some other decorations. This is our final layout. I'm really pleased with how it turned out. I just made a simple tag. It's cut 2.5 inches wide, and it was roughly started out at 5 inches tall. I used the beveled tag punch to create this tag top. I took some of the scrap from making this border, and I put it here on the tag after I finished writing my journaling. And then I used the Totally Tonal sticker pack and put on these small little notch banner elements, and then these words, which I matted in some more of the scraps from this paper. And that's all I think this page needs. I hope you enjoy watching this layout come together. And if so, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and YouTube's going to recommend another video for you, and I hope that you will watch it. And have a fine, scrappy day.